Hello viewers! Today I want to show you my attempt to make a temperature control system. Purpose of this system is to provide a constant warm temperature in this container for making nuruk. Of course, nuruk is the essential ingredient for making makgeolli. And I made it before last year, but it needs to be in a warm environment, warmer than the temperature in the house here. And so I need something, a heater, a thermostat, some way to keep this container warm. If you like this video, please click that like button and subscribe. What's the most important component here is this thermostat module right here. This shows the temperature and it has switches, 3 switches. Currently set to 30 degrees Celsius. You can change the set temperature up and down. There's a lot of other parameters. You can change it from Celsius to Fahrenheit. Change the threshold for when to turn the heat on. So currently this is set to turn on at 30 degrees Celsius and to turn off at 29.8 degrees. And okay, this little module, this thermostat module, is called a W1209. It's very cheap. I paid $4 for it, and I paid extra because I wanted the case. Okay, so there's the thermostat. There's a temperature sensor here, and there's a heating pad. And I've put the heating pad on. This is the heating pad. It's 10 centimeters by 8 centimeters, about 3 by 4 inches. This is a 12-volt silicone heating pad. I want to make this with low voltage. I thought it'd be safer to keep it running. This is so it's only 12 volts. It's 25-watt heating pad, and the only electrical formula you need to know for this is watts equals volts times amps. So 25 watts and at 12 volts, this is about 2 amps. And so I scrounged a 2 amp power supply from my pile of junk of unused power supplies, transformers, and that's what's plugged in here. So this heating pad, it actually gets very hot. It gets to about 250 degrees Fahrenheit or 120 degrees Celsius. That's really is too hot to put in here, and the very back of it can get hotter. That spot on the back gets even hotter. That melted when I had this on the side here before, it did melt the plastic. So this is too hot to be in direct contact with the plastic. That's why, that's why I put it on these white tiles that I had, and also for the tiles to absorb. There's some spacers there so it doesn't crush the heating pad. The tiles help absorb the heat. And then I put it in this cooler. I thought that would help preserve the heat. As you can see, since I've had the lid open, most of the heat has escaped, but these tiles are still warm. So after I close the lid, it'll warm up again. Okay, so let's talk about the components again. There's the thermostat, a W1209. There's the heating pad. There's the tiles. I put it in this cheap cooler This is a 48 quart cooler, 45 liters. Just wanted something that'd be insulated, big enough to put the corn straw and the nuruk I want to grow mold on. And I melted a channel here so I could put the wires in without it being crimped. And I'll just cover that up with this blob of putty. Okay. So that'll work. Now the only supplies I needed to put this together was a pair of pliers and some wire. Oh, another thing, this part of this location right on top of the tile here, right above the heating pad, still gets too hot. I wouldn't want to put my wheat cake right on top of here when I'm making nuruk. But maybe I would put a container of water here to help keep the humidity up inside this container. So this is the hot spot inside the container. So how much did this cost? The thermostat, I paid $4 for that. The heating pad, I paid $5. Cooler, around $16, $20 maybe. And then a few spare wires. That's it. So I wanted to do this as cheaply as possible. I realized you could buy something integrated, temperature controller, heating pad, that would be, you could easily buy that. That'd be a simple thing to do, but I wanted to do this on the cheap. So I tried it this way. I'll show you how I wired this up. On the thermostat, there are 4 connections. The 2 on the left are the connections for the relay. The 2 on the right is the power for the thermostat. And I'm using the same power source for both the thermostat and the heating pad. So here's how I wired it up. Nothing complicated. So I've set the thermostat to turn off at 30.0 degrees Celsius. There you go. And it'll turn back on at 29.8. When I leave it plugged in for hours, see that it cycles back and forth, on about 15 or 20 minutes, off for about 20 minutes. It's heating the container by more than 10 degrees above the room temperature. I checked the transformer plugged into the wall. That's not getting too hot. So that seems okay, like it's drawing the right amount of power. If I leave it running for hours, the temperature is within half a degree of 30. So up to 30.5 and as low as 29.5. So that's good enough for my purposes. I could adjust the parameters or put more, I could put more tiles in the container to even out the heat. All right, so this is my temperature control system for nuruk. I will try to make some nuruk in this thing, and I'll let you know how it goes. Thank you for watching.